Today, instead of just complaining about the housing prices in Australia, I'm going to show you a few ways we can fix this problem and make housing affordable again for younger people or people like myself who are in the market for a house. In this video, there's not going to be any slogans, political talk, blame culture, but we're going to talk about actual fixes that will substantially make the housing prices in Australia more affordable for people who want to live and not just invest. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this content here. It will help me produce more content and keep this channel afloat. Let's keep it simple and dive straight in. Number one, stop rewarding property speculation. What does that mean? In Australia, the government give incentives to investors, even from abroad, to invest in the property market and hold this property and make gain. They treat the property market as an investment tool rather than making it first of all as a place of shelter and safety for the Australian and then as an investment tool. So we have negative gearing and we have capital gains discount. What does that mean? If you own a property as an investment and you're actually losing money on that property, negative gearing will just allow you to deduct that tax from your wages and basically get your money back in simple terms. While capital gains discount is you basically get 50% tax reduction on capital gains of a property you invested and held for more than 12 months. 50%. So what that means that investors want to hold this property, want to inflate this price, and want to sell for profit because they're almost not taxed. It's ridiculous. So my solution is cancel negative gearing or remove negative gearing for people who have multiple properties. So not the first, not the second. If you have more than two, remove negative gearing. The same with tax deduction of 50% for capital gains, reduce it to 25 or eliminate it completely with people that own more than two properties or even one. This way properties becomes more of a place to live for the people of Australia and then an investment tool. Build more homes where people actually want to live. Now, what's happening in Australia, and I'll take Melbourne for an example. All the new properties that are being developed much further away from workplaces, from community centers, from shopping centers, and away from the city where you need to go to obviously work. We're talking about distances that maybe are greater than 1 hour or 45 minutes drive or a train ride to get your place of work. Now guys, younger people do not want to live this far from the city, this far from their families, this far from their loved ones and their friends. So what do? Don't keep building homes and townhouses and units so far away. Accelerate medium to high density buildings in places where we actually want to live. What does that mean? Apartment blocks, 8 stories high, next to train station, next to shopping centers, closer to the city, where you can actually keep and maintain the community. People can live closer to their parents' home, closer to the community, closer to their workplaces, which will reduce the stress on the people, will boost the economy because housing would be cheaper. People will have more money to invest in Australian businesses, which in return have a positive impact on the economy rather than all our money going into debt. So what you need to do to achieve that is bypass the council blocking these projects, because that's what's happening now, and start building these apartments. And it's basic supply and demand. More supply, lower prices. And the worst part about what they do here is, I actually looked up, if you want to build a house or a place in America, most of the places give you approval within a week or two, while in Australia it can take up to 7 months. So let's just eliminate all this process and make it much faster so we can start building much quicker. The government needs to build more housing again. We need the government to invest again in large-scale public housing to help people just have a roof over their head. Or we need the government to actually own some equity with the person who's buying a house. So I'll give you an example. I'll go buy a house now and I'll be like, I'll own 60% and the government will own 40%. I'll take a loan only on the 60%. The government will complete the purchase for me and they will co-share it with me. And I'll pay a modest to very low rent to the government. This way, the government ensures that every Aussie has a house over their head and is not drowning deep into unsustainable mortgages. This solution worked in many countries. I'm not inventing it out of thin air, and it should work here as well. Another positive of the government building houses is the government becomes a builder. which create competition with the private sector. More competition, more houses, lower pricing. Tie immigration to housing supply. The politicians on the right loves blaming immigration for the housing crisis. While it's maybe 1% true, it's not the problem. The pointers I outlined before are much bigger problem than immigration. But we also have a problem where the government keeps the supply low and floods immigrants into the country. Don't get me wrong, immigration is a positive thing for every country. America became great not because the original colonizers made it great, but because of immigration. You get the best scientists, you get the best doctors, you get the best minds, the sharpest people who want to progress in life come, and we need that. But what we need to do is tie the number of immigrants we're bringing to this country to the numbers of units that are in supply. So the more supply we offer, the more immigrants can flow in. The less supply of housing there is, the lower number of immigrants will be approved to get into Australia. This way you'll keep the balance going and you don't put this blame on anyone. Penalize land banking and empty homes. There are people or property developers that sit on land that have approvals for building and keeps it empty on purpose, whether it's for tax benefits or to artificially inflate the price. Same with other people who buy properties and keep them empty, buy apartments or keep them empty to inflate the price and just store their cash in their properties. And this way, property value will go up because there's no demand, there's no supply, a lot of demand, artificial lack of supply. And again, with all the incentives that we talked about, with the tax break, the investor wins. And who lose? The people who want to own their home. So if we legalize that and we create penalty systems based on the number of months or years these properties sit empty, that will stop these people and these investors and these property developers from wanting to keep these lands empty, which will push towards selling, building, more supply. Now, a bonus thing I want to talk about is Airbnb. I think Airbnb has been a major problem around the world to increasing the prices of housing and rental, to breaking up communities. Ban on Airbnb should be a solution, but people say, it's a bit socialist. I don't think it's a problem. But another way to do it without outright banning Airbnb is put 50% tax on any rental on Airbnb that is shorter than 1 month. I guarantee you a crazy amount of apartments for rent will be available after that. Now, let's face the reality of it. Will these pointers crash the housing market? No. Will it reduce the pricing or make it stagnant for a bit? Yes. We don't want to crash the market. We don't want to crash the economy. We want to just make it affordable and sustainable. And these are my points. Now, let me know if I missed something. Let me know if you agree or disagree with me in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts about this matter. And don't forget to subscribe again, guys. It will help me immensely. I really can't stress how much it helps when you subscribe. I will see you in the next video. This is Rami out.